All right, we are at episode 24.
I
Can't believe.
cannot believe we're at
Yeah, we just keep
24.
trucking, which is good. And
Yeah.
this is, I think this applies to all of us. And it's about going through different transitions in life.
So transitions are something that we all know about, but I think that we underestimate actually how many transitions we go
Yeah.
through in a year, or in our
Yes.
lifetime.
Hmm.
And so we're at that point where a lot of people right now are having their babies graduate high school and getting ready to go off
I
to
know.
whatever great adventure is next. So,
Hmm.
so we have an empty nest transition for a lot of people.
Hmm.
And then there are other transitions. The transition of empty nest isn't just about the parent, it's also about the child.
Yes.
I'm not going to be around my mom or dad anymore. And so
Hmm.
there's a transition there.
Hmm.
Marriage is a transition.
Marriage, a new job, a breakup, um,
A divorce, yeah.
a divorce, a health change in
Mhm.
status or something. You were
Sure.
previously healthy, then you have an injury, or you need a surgery, or you're healing from a surgery. There's so many different things that we probably underestimate. And I think sometimes we get frustrated with
Yeah.
ourselves if we're not adapting immediately. Yeah, there's so many things. And there could be positive transitions, negative ones, and they all affect us in some ways.
They do, and I think that that's the important piece. When we talk about transitions, particularly good transitions, "Oh, I'm so excited to get married."
Right.
We underestimate the the cost of the change,
Mm.
and the change is still there. And
Hmm.
so, for me, transitions do a couple of things, right? Right.
Mm.
It affects your nervous system, it affects your energy system, it affects how you operate. And so there is an actual process around transitions that needs to happen so that you don't get stuck.
Yes. And it also, I was just thinking, most transitions, I think, affect how we view ourselves, our identity.
Hmm.
Going from single to being married, going from being married to being single, you know, um, changing job titles.
Hmm.
A lot of times, or okay, now I'm a college graduate
Hmm.
and now I'm a full-time worker. I've had some
Yeah.
people talk to me about that in their internships.
Yeah.
And this is their first time working full time and no like winter break or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's very it just how you see yourself that shifts
Absolutely.
too. Yeah.
Identity, and it's yourself within a system, right? It's
Hmm.
that I belonged to this system,
Oh, I like that. Yes,
and
yes.
now I belong to this system, and
Hmm.
do I no longer belong to that system?
Hmm.
Now that I'm married, am I still part of that family, and how am I part of this new family, and what does that look like?
Hmm.
And we have this tendency towards thinking we should be able to handle things perfectly and easily, right? I mean,
We do. We get surprised all the time. I still get surprised. Like, why am I having this weird reaction to
mhm,
something? Why do I feel off? And we've never done this before, especially
mm,
with something that's brand new.
yeah,
You've never been this version of you. It's going to be awkward and new and uncomfortable sometimes, even if it's something that you've wanted your whole life.
right.
It it's like embracing the and.
Yes.
You can be very excited and uncomfortable in ways you didn't expect.
I cannot say that more perfectly than that.
Thank
The
you.
and for emotions,
Yes.
I can be both happy and sad.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
exists for a
Hmm.
reason, and it is particularly applicable to
Hmm.
emotions.
Yes.
And because you're sad about something doesn't mean you don't also love and enjoy it. It's
Yes.
so important to be able to have
Yes.
the duality of
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
experience, right?
Yeah.
Particularly around transitions.
Hmm.
And so when I look at a transition, all transitions, right? So if you're retiring, right, or just changing jobs, or, marriage or empty nest, whatever that is, you have a departure. There's always a departure.
Yes.
You have an arrival and you have a bridge.
Yes. Yes.
And we have to do all three parts or we get stuck.
Mm.
If you miss the departure and just focus on the arrival, you'll get stuck with the emotions
Oh,
of
I love
letting
that.
go, of grief, of
Mm.
sadness, right? So maybe you change your name and there's a grieving around, I'm no longer carrying my last name
Mhm.
anymore, or I am no longer single anymore. My new life is a together life, right?
Mhm.
It's important to move through. And the important thing to remember is that bridge, maybe it's about grief, maybe it's about sadness, maybe it's just welcoming the change.
Yeah, or maybe just acknowledging. Even
Acknowledging.
just acknowledging. Sometimes it's transitions where you can't wait to say goodbye. But it's acknowledging the process of the change. "Oh, I'm no longer there."
Yeah.
And just and staying there for a moment.
Mhm.
And sometimes it could just be a moment, but it's okay to just be aware of walking the bridge in whatever way that and acknowledging this is no longer
Mhm.
good, bad, ugly. And then here I'm going to
Yeah.
this. But there's something about an acknowledgement that feels really important.
It is, right? And when you
Yeah.
look at that
Mhm.
system,
Mhm.
departure,
Yeah.
arrival,
Yeah.
and the bridge
I
that
love it.
gets us there,
Mhm.
it really helps train our nervous system on what to do,
Mhm.
train our energy system on what to do, train our
Yeah.
subconscious and our conscious, right?
Mhm.
It gets us from one side to the other
Mhm.
with some sort of plan. And
Yeah.
so the piece that I want to say is grief is important.
Yeah.
And we can grieve things that we're happy about, that we're sad about. Grief actually, research tells us, grief actually trains the brain on how to live in the new reality.
Mhm.
With or without whatever that thing is that we're grieving, it teaches us how to be in the new aspect
Wow.
with the new information.
That's so powerful.
And if we don't go through it,
Mhm.
we don't carry this new understanding of who we are, our identity,
Mhm.
to the new place.
Yes.
And so it is so important that we entertain, walk through, carry that grief so we can be in that new aspect with our new identity.
Mhm. Yeah. Love it. I
Okay.
get another I'm like, I'm really honestly like sitting in this thinking of scenarios and people, and I'm a little too in deep right now to go.
Well,
It's really interesting. I'm just thinking, oh, that's what he's going through. That's what she's going through right now. That's what I went through. And I
yes.
just feel pensive. Isn't that funny? They're really transitions. And I've been through approximately 122,000 transitions. That's
Me,
how I
me
feel.
too.
I really feel like that. And I've gotten pretty good at them, I think, in terms of they don't knock me out as long as they used to, you know?
Mhm.
And I think I've recognized more quickly the importance of I love that formula or
Yeah.
I love that. It's funny because I had this visual while you were talking. I really like forgot I was doing a podcast for a moment. Could you tell? Did I?
I did. You're like,
I was like, I need popcorn. I'm like, oh, let me bring myself back because I was just visualizing. We're in Orlando, the Orlando airport, like the departure from wherever, but like almost the arrival in the airport, the tram that takes you to the baggage
oh,
claim.
that's so good.
And that's what I was picturing the whole time and how many times I've had to do that in my life.
Mhm.
And I just pictured somebody who's lost their partner, like someone who's died, and the grief process. And then that transition to, if you've been with someone for so long,
Mhm.
it's like a part of your body and who's your identity. And like
Mhm.
that transition time is so complex and
Yeah.
layered. And that's where I just went for
No, it
that
it it
little
makes,
moment.
and you know me, I like to put everything into a system, right?
Yes.
And I think
Yep.
that that is actually how we as humans
Hmm.
operate is
To categorize things sort
we
of and have a process. Yeah.
yes. And
Hmm.
so if we can do that, then, it's part of that making sense. So when we look at departures, right? When we are
Hmm.
looking at leaving whatever in this transition, when we look at a departure, what we're really looking at is what's not going to be the same
Yes.
anymore,
Yes.
right? And so, am I great? Get to move into this new house,
Hmm.
but I am leaving the cheap rent or the free rent at
Right.
home,
Or the experiences I had in that
or
other place.
the
That's a big
yeah,
one in any transition.
yes,
Whoever I was, whatever was going on in my world, in that system, like you said, in that
hmm
community, in that moment in my life, I'll never go back to that moment. And so I'm excited for these new experiences and everything, but that part is I'm never going back to that part.
correct.
Yeah.
And so, even if it's an exciting change, what
Mhm.
am I gonna leave
Mhm.
behind?
Yeah.
And uh, and right? let's celebrate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Right.
celebrate that. And a celebration can be a grief celebration, right? It can
Mm-hmm.
be a celebration of life, or it can be a letting go of, the shedding of,
Oh, yes.
right?
And I'm team celebration. Any excuse to celebrate, I will. Even if it's a sad moment or whatever, I'm going to mark it with like a ritual or something that is so it just helps us move along and
It
not get
does.
stuck. Like
It
you don't want to
does.
park there. Let yourself feel it all.
Yeah,
Hmm.
100%. And,
Yeah.
I think understanding that when we articulate, when we identify, when we can say it out loud, we are actually acknowledging, recognizing, and creating the space
Yeah.
for here's what I'm leaving behind,
Yeah.
what I love, what I'm sad about,
Hmm.
what is and even when I think about my own kid going off to college and
Hmm.
going off to this great
Yeah.
experience, what was happening in that transition for me was
That was an interesting time.
for you, for me, you're right. Like,
Yes. A lot of people
okay.
go through this.
A lot of people
Hmm.
do. I'm not driving anybody to practice or showing up for things
Hmm.
or doing what is my new identity going to look like? But I had to grieve this. I am not
Hmm.
ever going to be the mom
I know.
of a child who lives at home that needs me to do all of these things for them because I have an adult leaving my home who's going to be responsible for these things. And the identity really can take a morphine, right? Can
Yeah.
take a beating. It's
Mm.
grieving that I'm not that person anymore. I am not going to have that responsibility anymore.
And we are parents for it feels like a long time, even though it goes by quickly. Like that is your whole identity.
Right.
Everything is wrapped up in that. And that's who you are. And parents together too.
Hmm.
And then who are we together? How do we interact together when it's not around the kids? That
Right.
is some couples go through some interesting times when all of a sudden,
Absolutely.
okay, who are we now?
Right.
Yeah.
And so when we are very purposeful about the departure, right?
Hmm.
When we can really name, okay, so
Right.
what is here?
Yeah.
What is changing? What am I letting go of? Right?
Hmm.
That becomes the bridge, which
Hmm.
is, and I feel sad about this, or I feel happy, whatever the emotions that come
Yeah.
along
Hmm.
with the becoming, right?
Yeah.
And then the arrival. And what are we going to feel joyful about in the arrival, which is, my God, I got to go
Oh,
visit my kid in London, and I got to see
yeah.
my kid adult all over London. And I didn't have to think, where am I? And it was the first time I traveled where I didn't make the decisions about where we were going and how we were getting there.
Right. I
And
remember that. Yes.
I got to observe her
Yeah.
doing all the adult
Yeah.
things that used to be my adult things and
Mhm.
how, and I get emotional about
Yeah,
it. I got to see her in that way. And it was,
it's okay.
no,
I know, it's okay. It's beautiful and it's complicated and it's there's so many facets to it. And that is parenting in a nutshell, what you just went through. It's this beautiful, loving pain, growing pains for
right.
her, for you, and watching them come out. Oh my gosh, they survived. They're okay. They're thriving.
Yeah.
Wow.
The
Yeah.
arrival side is
It's
beautiful.
powerful. It's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can truly ever predict how it's really going to feel until you're in it. I would say that for just about everything,
Well, yes.
everything in life.
Yeah.
Like especially whenever you come out to the other side of a transition,
Yes.
you can have expectations and think, but you can't know until you're in anything.
Yeah.
And then to take the time for the dust to settle and say, "Oh, okay," and acknowledge that part
Yeah.
and celebrate that, okay, I'm here. And it's okay if it doesn't feel like you thought it was going to feel. That is 100% acceptable and
Well, and it's
normal.
okay to get there and have mixed emotions,
Yes.
right? Just because you have grief
Mhm.
doesn't mean that the positive thing isn't still
Right.
positive, right?
Right.
It, they, they don't negate each other.
Right. It's the and. Embrace the and.
It's the
Yes.
and.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you had these high expectations, it's going to be the best thing in the world and it's not. That's okay too. It is okay. And I've talked to so many people that panic when they get to that part.
Mhm.
And it is okay to pivot at any point, but to just take a moment to just embrace where you are
Mhm.
and give it a little time to settle in. And then the identity is not a quick thing that's going to shift. That
And
that takes time to settle in.
yeah,
Yeah.
identity and discomfort.
Yes.
Discomfort doesn't mean we're wrong. It just means it's new.
Yeah.
So feeling uncomfortable in that becoming piece, in
Mhm.
that bridge piece,
Yeah.
normal.
Yes.
Feeling discomfort in the departure, normal.
Mhm.
Feeling discomfort in the arrival,
Yes, all of it.
normal.
Yeah.
Discomfort doesn't mean we're wrong.
Mhm.
Discomfort means that we're changing.
And the more you can tolerate the distress tolerance
Yeah.
and tolerate it and know that it's okay, soothe yourself through it,
Mm.
it is gonna take you so much further, and you don't have to rush to make that go away,
Yeah.
and you're gonna work through things so much more quickly.
We talk about window of tolerance
Mm.
all the time, right? Like that window of tolerance is this space
Yeah.
where we are actually growing and changing.
Mhm.
And if we get on the outside of our window of tolerance, right, we get into panic or we get into functional freeze or
Mhm.
burnout, right? So if above is panic, below is functional freeze.
Yeah.
And our window of tolerance actually changes. It gets bigger and littler based on
Mhm.
how regulated our nervous system is,
Yes.
based on what we have going on. But when we're able to stay in that window of tolerance, bringing ourselves back into it from either side
Mhm.
and move through things in that regulated state,
Yeah.
it's going to be a much easier process. But a lot of us get stuck. We
Mhm.
get outside of our window of tolerance. And so then we don't complete our process.
Right.
And we get over here and we've arrived and it was super bumpy and we're still not
Mhm.
processing it. And,
Mhm.
and so the importance, the only part of me saying that is because it's really important we do all the pieces
Yeah.
so that arrival actually lands,
Yeah.
right? Instead
Well
of
said.
instead of flying around the
Circling.
airport. Yeah.
Yes. Back to an airport
Yeah,
analogy. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, really well said. I love it.
All right. So when we talk about, what to do, it's important that we learn to regulate our nervous system in this bridge,
Mhm.
so that when we get over here, we are reorganized around the new change
Yeah.
instead of still stuck back here
Mhm.
with the what ifs and the shouldn'ts haves, right?
Yep.
So when we think about nervous systems and what transitions and change mean,
Mhm.
I tend to think about reorganizing my identity.
Mm. Okay.
And so we haven't done this before. This is really for me. I do EFT tapping, so it's acupressure tapping, and so I'm gonna teach a little series
Yes.
that I
Oh, okay.
do on a pretty regular um, process or a pretty regular basis for myself. So I'm gonna take off my glasses. So
I'm so
um,
excited.
I well,
Love
so
this.
so a lot of people have done EFT tapping,
Mhm.
and it's important to
Yep.
know that on my website, if you are interested, there's a free handout for it.
Mhm.
And if you've worked with a therapist, you've probably done this. And a lot of times you pair it with a statement, right?
Mhm.
Like I'm good enough. We're not going to do any of that.
Okay.
I'm just going to teach you a process and I'm going to name it out loud. So even if you're not looking at us, if you're not watching this podcast, this is something that you can do. And so we're going to take one hand and we're going to tap on the side of our hand.
That is like the fleshy part
It's
kind
the
of.
fleshy part, so not the pinky. We're gonna top, and you could even karate chop, right? Like it's that
That's
idea
easy.
of
Yeah.
it's called a karate chop, and
Yeah.
you can do that with each other, or you can use your fingers. And so it's not on the pinky itself, but below the pinky on the side of the hand.
You just
And
tap it.
you're just gonna tap it. And actually it may feel tender, you may need to change sides. One may
Mhm.
feel better than the other.
Mhm.
And so when I am trying to work with my nervous system and I'm having these thoughts, right?
Mhm.
I'm grieving, I'm hurting, I'm confused, I'm scared, I'm thinking about my child and what this is going to mean. It doesn't matter which side, but you start with the side of your hand.
Okay.
And then you come in to the inside of your eyebrow. And so you're going to tap on the inside, and you could use both hands and tap on the inside of your eyebrow on both sides. And just tap 3, 4, 5 times. Continue to breathe and think about what that issue is. And then come to the outside of your eyes. And so this is on the side of
Like your temple or
your
closer?
either way, it doesn't matter. It's
Okay.
temple, it's right on the outside of your eyeball,
Mhm.
right? And then you're gonna come under your eye, and it's going to be, um, your cheekbones, right?
Yep.
But right below your eyeballs. And then we're gonna go to one hand, and we're gonna tap right below your nose. Then we're gonna tap on the chin underneath the lip and above kind of the chin. And so
Okay.
there's the
Little
divot right
divot.
there.
Yeah.
And they're gonna do that. Then you're gonna come into your collarbone. And so it's right below the collarbone on the outside of the sternum, and you're gonna tap there. Then you're gonna come on the sternum. You're gonna tap there. You're gonna come down to
Favorite.
to the side of your body. And so this is in alignment with your nipple. And so you're gonna tap there. You're gonna come down to the sides of your leg. You're gonna tap there. And then you're gonna come up to the top of your head. And so this is a process of EFT tapping. And I'm gonna do it again with us.
Okay.
But what this process does is it is stimulating the meridians associated with different emotions. So I want you to
Mm.
just to watch me.
Okay.
I'm going to say it out loud. This is indecision. So when we tap the side of our hand underneath our pinky, it's about indecision,
Mm.
right? It's about panic around indecision. When
Wow.
we come up and we tap our eye in the inside of our eyebrow, this is about fear. When we tap the outside of our eye, this is about triple warmer, our fight or flight,
Yeah.
our stress, our panic. When we come under our eye and we tap, so we're on our cheekbone tapping, this is about worry and lack of self
Wow.
compassion and fear. When we tap here,
Under your
and
nose.
under our nose and on our chin. This is central and governing. This controls all of the meridians, right? It connects them all the way through the body. Also, the chakras, it touches every chakra
Well, the
and our
area under
aura.
your nose and your
So
under
under
your
our
mouth.
nose and under our mouth,
Wow. It's a
it
powerful area.
actually it's
Yeah.
actually why babies suck their thumb,
Yeah.
because these meridians run all the way around the entire body and meet in the back of the roof of the mouth, and
Palate.
that's why
Yeah.
babies suck their thumb or
Yeah.
use a binky,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when we tap here, we are stimulating all the way through all of those energy
Wow.
systems. When we come down to our collarbone and tap, that's fear, that's kidney. When we come to our sternum, it's fear, it's thymus. When we come to our side, it's again about worry. And when we tap on the top of our head or on the side of our leg, this is about grief and loss. And the top of our head, we get all the different meridians again involved, right?
Wow.
So when we tap on those places and we're thinking about something we feel sad about or
Mm.
hurt about or worried about, it will
Shifts the energy.
shifts the energy
Wow.
around it. So let's do it again
It's
together.
amazing.
Just
Okay.
pulling in some transition, the sadness around the loss
Mm-hmm.
or the happiness around the loss. Because
Mm-hmm.
remember, we don't have to do these just around sadness.
Right.
We can also do it around a question. We can do it
Mm-hmm.
around happiness. And it will help our whole nervous system sync around the issue.
Mm.
So we'll start by tapping on the side of the hand. And again, that's worry, that is panic around decision making, right? And then to the inside of the eye, to the outside of the eye, to the cheekbones, under the nose, under the lip, on the chin, down to the collarbones, to the sternum, out to the side, which is the spleen, but the side of your, in alignment with your nipples, down to the side of the leg, which is large intestine, and to the top of the head. And when you do this, you shift the
Mm.
thoughts and the feelings around an issue that causes distress, or you reinforce something that feels good.
I have a question. Do you need to do a lot of pressure when you're tapping or no? Just like very basic, gentle
So whatever
tapping?
feels good to you. I'm glad that you
Okay.
asked that question. So
Okay.
you could just hold the point if
Mm.
tapping, because some people have sensitivity to tapping.
Mm-hmm.
That can feel good. You can just hold it if that feels good,
Okay.
right? And if you hold, you might want to hold until you can feel a little buzz or a little
Shift or
shift or
something. Okay.
something. That can feel good. You can just hold it. And if you're going to just hold, use your middle finger, right? Because middle finger connects into the energy quicker. But middle finger, and again, I'm not a person who looks at rules. If you place your middle finger and that doesn't feel good to you, use whatever
Yeah.
feels good.
Okay.
Um, because I want you to tune into your body. That's more important than following my rules.
Right.
I
Right.
want you to hear that,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It's not a rule kind
Do
of
what feels
thing.
right and good.
Do what feels right.
Okay.
So you may go and go, oh, I never like it when I touch
Mm-hmm.
this point.
So do
That's
it.
okay. There are so many points on our body that we could touch. You could come under, if you have for liver and gallbladder, that's anger and resentment, you could come right under, it's under your breast,
Mm-hmm.
which is part of why I don't make a lot of people, but you could just
Yeah.
come and rub. You could go
Mm-hmm.
thymus, rub under here,
Yeah.
check into
It's
your body.
amazing. I'm taking this in, I'm listening, but I just the other like because I don't do this a whole lot, and
Yeah.
it's just amazing how much relief we can get that we already have access to with our bodies. You
We
know?
absolutely do.
Yeah.
And so on my website, there is a free download. You could go to that and just get it. And in the download, it talks about pairing it with statements like, It's safe for me to release. It's safe for
As
me."
you're tapping.
Yeah, you can pair it with a statement,
Mm.
but you don't have to.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing. A lot of people get caught up in, oh, I can't come up with a statement.
Hmm.
You don't have to pair it with a statement. You can just think of one thing and then see where it takes you
Yeah.
because your subconscious mind will actually just do that for you.
Hmm.
And so I could think, I'm releasing stress from this transition. I'm releasing stress from this transition. Or I can just tap transition, transition,
Mm.
transition, transition,
I like that.
transition. Your body and your brain know what to do with
Hmm.
it. So
Beautiful.
there is
Thank you for taking the time to do that.
is
That's
that
really
okay?
no, yeah, and I like something about going through that whole circuit. I don't know if that's an okay word to
It
use.
is the circuit.
Is I could see how once you aren't figuring okay, once it's a pattern and you know where to go, I can see how it would be very soothing
Mhm.
and help shift things. I like how I feel. I have no idea how to describe how I feel right now, and I wasn't worrying about a thing. I don't think I'm in much of a transition, and yet I love how I feel
Mm.
so much. It's pretty cool.
Well, remember, EFT tapping, again, is just
It's
plugging,
regulating
it's
too.
balancing.
Yeah.
So you're balancing this belief or
Mhm.
this goal or this fear or whatever.
Right.
You're balancing all the energy in your body that feeds it.
Mhm.
And so it supports the nervous system, it
Yeah.
supports the energy systems,
I clearly
and
needed it because I feel
yeah,
something feels different, so that was great.
yeah.
Yeah.
It also supports the subconscious change. And
Nice.
it's always, this is never bad. And because you see me tapping things
Oh, Lord.
all
I'm
the
y
time.
I'm not even gonna get started. Yes. Anywhere, anytime, any day,
Yeah.
you're doing the chicken. That's what I call it. Yep.
It is.
Yep.
And so this is that bridge. So when
Mhm.
you use a
Yes.
tool like this,
Mhm.
it helps go from this place of departure.
Mhm.
It honor and that's the word we haven't used today. It
Yes.
honors the departure.
Yes.
When we spend time grieving
Mhm.
or acknowledging or in that space of departure, it honors the departure and the
Yeah.
arrival, where we've left and where we end up. And when we use an EFT tapping, and
Mm.
there are other things, we could use the butterfly
Mhm.
tap to do the same thing,
Yeah.
right? And that's where we cross over, we put our hands in a
Mhm.
cross and we tap rhythmically,
Our
right?
arms, yeah.
Bilateral stimulation is what this is.
Yeah.
When we haven,
Mhm.
that acknowledges
Which is
this.
just brushing your arms kind
Correct.
of with your
Brushing
arms
your arms
crossed,
down,
yeah.
you can rub on all over your body, all over your face.
Yeah.
Any of these bilateral, right? So the
Mhm.
tapping is bilateral.
Yeah.
Any of these bilateral stimulations help get the whole process to happen.
Yeah.
So we move from one to the other.
Beautiful.
All right. So what do we
Beautiful.
think about that? Is there any piece of that we didn't talk about?
I have one more thought. It came up in the middle of it of kind of like also just another transition is like grieving something that you never even had
Mm.
and switching. And of course, I'm gonna make another reference to like a TV show this time. There was an episode on Friends,
Mhm.
and Rachel thought she was pregnant, and Phoebe played a trick on her, and she said she took a pregnancy test, and she said it's negative. And Rachel ends up getting all choked up
Mhm.
and so sad because she was fearing getting pregnant, and then all of a sudden she was negative. She was negative, and she was sadder than she expected. And then she just said this line, "How can I be so sad about something I never even had?"
Yeah.
And that is what came through when we were talking a little bit. And that whole concept is really important too. I think for fertility, when people are going through
Yeah.
fertility issues, and how there's a shifting in identity, and other things too, that like all of a sudden something changes and you didn't even think you wanted it, and all of those. I think this is helpful for so many different things that we don't necessarily pause and name as, oh, this is a transition.
Sure.
And so I just wanted to kind of add that because it came up for me.
No, and that makes good sense because
Yeah.
it isn't just about it. Transitions can be that, hey, we're never going to have this thing that we really wanted,
Mm-hmm.
or we weren't
Right.
sure how that was going to land.
Mm-hmm.
And it is about autonomy and choice,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because we get to choose how we are going to be in this arrival
Yeah.
place,
Right.
right? We do actually get to make that choice. And
Mhm.
that's a big deal for a lot of us. We feel like things happen to us, we have
Yes.
to go through. And a lot of times, transitions are things that we're made to do, whether or not we want to do
Absolutely.
them.
Right. And so sometimes all you can control is what you focus on and
Correct.
how you look at it and your perspective.
Right.
And that can bring some peace too.
And the more we are purposeful in how we deal with things like menopause, I mean, none of us would choose this if we knew that it was going to be this incredibly challenging, right?
100%.
Right.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so, or, anything that we
Hmm.
go through in life,
Hmm.
people have been laid off or fired. They
Right.
didn't choose it,
Hmm.
but they get to choose how they
How you
deal with it.
respond. Right.
Yeah.
And these tools are so helpful in
Yeah.
aiding you through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just encourage us all to lean in and embrace the change, the
Hmm.
discomfort,
Yeah.
and the understanding that I get to choose what I'm like when I get over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I love it.
all right. So, does that feel complete?
Hmm.
Okay,
Feels good
good.
to me.
Yeah.
You?
It does for me too. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that the thing is that transitions, good or bad,
Hmm.
aren't ever going to be comfortable.
Hmm.
So,
Right.
they
And
are.
life is full of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or they're gonna be both. It's gonna
Hmm.
feel great
Right.
and be exhausting and feel like we're betraying someone
Yeah.
or we're shifting or we're
Hmm.
letting something down or letting something go, and it's okay for both.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. So it's that
That
time.
time of episode.
It's
I'm
that
gonna see
time.
if I can remember it. Okay, and don't overthink this too much. Okay, what?
How do you tell me a joke and tell me not to
Because
overthink?
like sometimes you're just supposed to just say I don't know what, and then
Okay,
you would
okay, okay,
probably
okay.
enjoy it so much more. Okay, what has 5 toes and is not your foot?
I have no idea.
My foot.
Ah.
That's so stupid. I makes me incredibly happy.
I'm
No,
so
I think
glad.
next time I'm gonna come back as a dad. I need to
I
come back
think you should
next
come
life.
out with it.
That's
We've talked
so
about
true.
jokes. Andrea will not
Yeah.
say this, but she told me recently, you don't have to try and figure out the jokes. Just listen and be present for them.
Yeah,
Oh,
and that didn't even dawn on you. You're like, "Oh, because 'cause you're used to having an answer. You
yes.
know things."
I am
You know things,
just
and you don't have to.
neurodivergent enough
Yeah.
to say that the rule is that you're
Yes.
supposed to try and figure this
Yeah, that's the
out.
whole point of the joke, no. So,
Okay.
okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for listening. All right.
Thanks. Okay.